President Trump has confirmed more weapons for Ukraine, something that has anchored the Kremlin as Russia just warned the United States with preemptive strikes. We're going to cover later how dangerous this is for us here at home. Also, federal officials have confirmed sleeper cells hidden within the country, a growing threat that has many of our agencies on their toes. We've got a lot to go through today, but before that, make sure to subscribe and become a civic patriot today.
Russia issuing threats over America's support for Ukraine. The deputy chairman of Russia's Security Council saying, quote, "The statements of Western politicians on this topic are complete nonsense. We need to act accordingly to respond in full and, if necessary, launch preemptive strikes."
Meanwhile, top NATO leaders are working hard to get U.S. Patriot missiles to Ukraine.
Preparations are underway. We're working very closely with the Germans on the Patriot transfer, and the guidance that I've been given has been to move out as quickly as possible. Air defense is important on the modern battlefield, and we've seen the scale of recent Russian attacks against Ukraine, so it is a key focus area.
This comes as the White House has given Russia a 50-day ultimatum. Basically means that Russia has to come back to the negotiation table, and by 50 days, they should be talking peace. If not, President Trump already has some hard sanctions ready for the Kremlin, specifically for their energy sector, their main source of revenue. Now, you might think that this is a far cry from when Zelensky was in the White House. However, Putin has repeatedly strung along President Trump, something that the president doesn't like.
How did you tell Putin this was coming?
I speak to him a lot about getting this thing done. And I always hang up and say, well, that was a nice phone call. And then missiles are launched into Kiev or some other city. And I said, it's strange. And after that happens 3 or 4 times, you say, the talk doesn't mean anything. My conversations with him are always very pleasant. I say, isn't that a very lovely conversation? And then the missiles go off that night. I go home, I tell the First Lady, I spoke to Vladimir today. We had a wonderful conversation. She said, oh, really? Another city was just hit. So it's like, look, he's, I don't want to say he's an assassin, but he's a tough guy. It's been proven over the years. He's fooled a lot of people. He fooled Bush. He fooled a lot of people. He fooled Clinton, Bush, Obama, Biden. He didn't fool me. But what I do say is that at a certain point, ultimately talk doesn't talk. It's got to be action. It's got to be results. And I hope he does it.
What's worse is that Russia doesn't seem to care about the sanctions that they may face soon, and instead, they're suggesting that the U.S. should brace for possible nuclear strikes.
NATO was built to deter and defend, especially against Russia. So, this is not surprising. But at the same time, I think this kind of reckless, threatening and even trying to suggest that nuclear weapons are an option, I think is, a very dangerous escalation. But, we're obviously prepared for any threat to the alliance, and we'll, make sure that we are always ready for any threat to the alliance.
While all of that is happening, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem has confirmed what many of us already knew. The United States is filled with sleeper cells, many of them just waiting in the shadows for their time to spread terror.
I would say that we have removed, since President Trump has been in office, over 600 individuals that are on the known or suspected terrorist list. Do we still have sleeper cells in this country? Absolutely. Are we getting up every single day to find them and get them out of this country? Absolutely. That's one of our very top priorities, is to make sure we're identifying those individuals. And our agencies within the Department of Homeland Security are partnering with the FBI, partnering with the Department of Justice to use resources to get them out as soon as possible. But that threat is very real because once they got here...
What, as you view it right now? Because you're in the role right now.
I can't say a biggest threat because I have so many I deal with every day. We have the threat from terrorists that are in our country today that we need to remove. We also have the crimes that are happening on our streets by those individuals that are murderers and rapists that affect families immediately. You can't ever bring that person back to their family. But I would say our critical infrastructure is extremely vulnerable. One thing that the Department of Homeland Security did not do well under the last administration was to protect our electrical grid. We did not protect people's personal information. You remember these hacking attempts that were successfully done called Salt Typhoon and Volt Typhoon. China proved that they can hack into our electrical system and shut it down.
Now, what can we do about all of this? Well, we have to stay vigilant and trust that the people in power are doing everything that they can to keep us all safe. What are your thoughts on today's video? Make sure to sound off down in the comments. Also, if you got any value from this video, make sure to subscribe and drop a like. It really helps our small channel reach even more civic patriots. As always, thanks for your time. Talk to you in the next one.